Alrighty, I never edited the birthday intro, so I didn't have an intro tonight. So we're gonna just kind of roll with it. Today I got a couple of, I think, special treats planned for you. Not too special, but we're gonna cover. We're just gonna kind of jump around a bit like the ADD oriented shows that I've done in the past, except that I actually have an idea of what to talk about. I even made a list, although I'm not even looking at the list because we don't need the list. But if we run out of steam, we get bored, we got a list. Now, if anybody's, tuned in, I want to know, hey, what no, I did not get your message, but if you want to hop on, you could. I mean, I'm just gonna explore the local Stella neighborhood right now and just kind of just, mess around a bit. I kind of got a few things on the agenda, but you're welcome to hop on. Let me know if you want me to drop you a link, Wade. And maybe I'll check my Twitter messages in a couple of minutes. But I figure I'll get started before I do that. Get something running on the screen or something. Right now I'm just kind of, ooh, it's really awkward here. So anyway, I'm using Space Engine, but I'm running at my ultra. Oh, that's what I was supposed to. There we go. I'm running at my ultra wide screen monitor, but I did adjust it. Okay, in 30 minutes, yeah. So I get you for the tail end because I'm looking to basically I'm aiming for like a 1 hour show. So as long as we're done by literally 1 hour or 55 minutes from now, I'm good. So I'll drop you a link. I'll send you a link in the DM, Wade. But yeah, I'm gonna try to go to bed early tonight. Well, not early; it's already late. But you know what I mean, like. So anyway, I guess you guys can hear me because anyway, I'm using a different microphone right now. And I guess before we do the local Stella neighborhood, I'm just gonna send this thing here. There we go. Okay, I hooked it up to Wade. Hopefully that link works. What's up, David Glenn? Yeah, so anyway, David Glenn, so I'll briefly talk about what we're doing here. So this is my dynamic microphone, which I would argue dynamic microphones are less than dynamic. But nonetheless, that is the underlying name of the technology. I think it has to do with the coil on the inside of this microphone here. This microphone here, which is a dynamic microphone, is essentially the low-cost alternative to the Shure SM7B, which I'm going to pull up a picture of as soon as I verify that. Okay, good. So, I'm sure you guys have seen this microphone a gazillion times on everyone in their mother's podcast. Like pretty much any person who has a real job or money or is making money doing this type of thing or whatever the case may be is using this microphone. Like all of the non-nerd people who do streaming pretty much own this microphone. And it looks like I was redirected to Dell's website while I was trying to click on a picture of the microphone. So we're going to click on, oh, that's on, I see. See, I'm trying to find an actual, here we go. Okay, this should be, oh, no. Okay, that almost fell. So here we are. Oh, come on. Why is it? I hate when that happens when you click on the Amazon link and it's like, here's the homepage to Amazon. It's like, I don't want the homepage to Amazon. I want the product page. Thank you very much. All right. So right here, this is the Shure SM7B. It's very popular. You'll see it all over the place on YouTube and what have you. Here's an example of it mounted like mine. Right now, it's actually probably on the same arm. But what you'll notice that's different about the Shure SM7B versus what I'm using is that the XLR cable, it goes straight into the back of the microphone. Whereas the Shure SM7B has this little thing on the end here. So you got the mounting point and then you got this little part here. And that's where you plug it in. And I think one of the pictures I saw online did depict that, although here we are. That's the picture right there. See? Right there. That's that XLR port. So why does it do that? Well, initially I didn't know why, but in one of the reviews for this microphone, a person mentioned that when you tap on the cable, it translates a lot of vibration. Now, of course, this thing comes with Velcro and it's got some like little channels on it so you can run the cable over the elbow. But nonetheless, you can see, like how this works, right? You can kind of see. There we go. You can see how, like, essentially, let's get back on the top screen. So essentially the idea is that that vibration that gets into my microphone would instead get picked up or would go over here, and then you got this thin cable. So if vibration makes it to the microphone, it isn't going to make it through the cable necessarily. And I believe that's why they have this thin cable here. You know, at least that's my logic. It might also just be a neater, you know, routing. I'm sure it's, you know, it's easier to neatly route the audio cables using this configuration here. But yeah, anyway, a dynamic microphone is interesting. It's a simpler design. One of the things I learned was while reading about dynamic microphones is that, what's up, Zombie? Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping by. He's been doing some bumping content lately. It's still morning for me. Oh, wow. Well, it'll be morning for me in like a few hours, and then I get to go to work. What up, Pacific 414? Good to see you, man. I had a good time last week joining you, Baron, and was it just you and Baron? I'm sure I'm missing someone. Well, Cash wasn't there, right? Well, anyway, I had a good time with you guys. I always have a good time with you, Baron, even Phil. Even Phil McCracken's all right. Sometimes. Now, okay, jokes aside, it is good seeing Pacific 414. But it's not morning for Karen in Peoria, Illinois, so it can't be anything but night. Yeah, that's correct. The Zombie, the time is wrong. Okay, look, if Karen says it's nighttime, I don't give a shit what side of the world you're on. It is bloody nighttime. For some reason, I'm guessing you're an Aussie, Australian. I'm guessing. I don't really know, but anyway, it's nice having, you know, an international audience. I think that's super cool. I need to get some Japanese people. Oh, we got to talk about Japan or Japanese stuff in a little while. Okay. So anyway, I'm sorry getting distracted by my bottom screen. So I'll finish up real quick. So anyway, one of the problems that one of the things people would say is that USB XLR is better. XLR cables are superior to USB, and I kind of beg to differ, but based on my experience, I'll explain. So let me just get the chat window back up. Oh, oops, wrong button. So basically, this has a USB port on the back, so I can plug it in just like this microphone. Now, my normal go-to microphone is a condenser microphone as opposed to a dynamic. And in the case of my condenser microphone, I do have some analog knobs on here. So you'll notice I actually ripped one of the knobs out. I have it in my drawer. And that's because I don't use the instrument jack. So this is like if you hook up a guitar, like a bass guitar, you hook it up through here. And that's kind of cool because in theory, if I was into music, I could choose not to use my audio interface, that I could run, straight into this, because this is a pure USB microphone. And this has been my go-to since I started streaming, like at least about a couple of years ago. And it served me exceptionally well. Now, because it has analog knobs, you can't go into the Windows sound control panel and alter the gain on this. And that's okay, because you can alter it, manually through the knob. And I kind of liked the convenience of it, and I liked the, potential simplicity. So yeah, I like this mic a lot. But why do people prefer XLR mics? Well, there are a number of advantages to the XLR cable, but for my case, USB is superior because universal in the name, right? So basically, if I hook this up through USB, the levels are too low. Now you can control the gain, but there's no knob on here, so you got to do it through the sound control panel, which is very trivial. I mean, I could probably demonstrate that down here right now. So there's multiple ways to get to the sound control panel. I like to go by clicking this, right? Click on the speaker icon, click on sounds, and then I go to recording. And then if this microphone was hooked up by USB, there would actually be like this, something like this, input control, a gain control. Now, the problem is if that's not loud enough, how do you make it any louder? Can you add another amplifier? So whether this is a Shure SM7B or whether I'm using, this, This is a Samson Q9U, which I would argue is the poor man or the low-cost alternative to the Shure SM7B. Both the Shure SM7B and this are dynamic microphones. They both have USB and XLR. So if I need the sound to be any louder, I need to get a preamp. And you can't really plug a preamp into a USB, I mean, logically, right? It's an analog device. So when I bought this microphone, I had a different sound interface, but same concept as what we have right now over on my left, right? You see it hooked up right here. You can see the little green light. If I yell into it, that green light turns red. Now, I bought this preamp because it was $20, and it's basically a knockoff of a $60 preamp. The $60 version of this looks like a stick of dynamite. It's like red, and it looks like a miniature stick of dynamite. This one was cheaply made. I noticed that it would actually make like, like weird noises even when you wiggle the cable, almost like it's picking up its own interference. At one point, I did have to tighten up these 2 screws here because apparently if you loosen these screws out, you can remove the assembly and the circuit board from inside. Anyway, ultimately the answer was in the pictures above, and I'll show you right now. So if we go back here, oops, excuse me. Yeah, right there. This is the Cloud Lifter. This is a very popular preamp, and I believe Mike Pacific 414 was interested in getting the Elgato version of that, which is a little bit more. The Elgato is, let me see if we can find it. Elgato volume knob. I mean, that's not the name of it. I'm Googling, what the heck is it called? Like, Elgato XLR amp thingamajig. Here we are. The XLR blah blah wave thingamajig. So, basically, this is similar to the, the Cloud Lifter. It's got the 48-volt phantom power. I got a malformed web page. That's super annoying. How did that happen? Come on, man. Come on. I don't have time for this. I love when web pages, I might have to do a little cleanup of my browser or something. So anyway, on the back of it, you got an XLR port. You got a USB port. So this is an audio interface. This is actually like you go from an XLR microphone into this, and then you go into your USB port. So essentially, it's comparable to using something like this. I think the knob is beautiful. I think the design is beautiful. It's, pretty ergonomic on the whole. You got a headphone jack for monitoring the input, which I believe sometimes the microphone has it built in, sometimes not. And you can even see it pairs pretty nicely with the Shure SM7B right there. Now, you can get this for $130. You can get a Cloud Lifter for like about $100. I think it's actually more. Like, let's see if we could... let me see here. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't showing you my top screen, guys. I apologize for that. So let me make sure. Did I show you guys this? Okay, let's try it again. So yeah, XLR port, USB port, monitoring. Okay, so basically you can see it's very ergonomic. It looks a lot like my Stream Deck, which it's, on my desk over here right now. It's what I'm using to switch sources. So anyway, let's find the Cloud Lifter. Let me just, Cloud Lifter. A Cloud Lifter sells for about $150. Oops, $150, and it's pretty essential to have one. This is the one I was looking at. See, it's like $100. So I bought like a $20 or $40 knockoff. This is the Monda DM3. The one on the screen is called the Dynamite DM1. So a Monda DM3 is basically a crappy version of a Dynamite DM1. More or less. So anyway, fast forward. I didn't want to get a Cloud Lifter, so instead I bought this one right here, and I think it cost me a pretty penny. I don't know why, I can't remember. I think I had to get this one on eBay today. I don't even know if I got it on Amazon, but it wasn't a bad price. I know it cost a little bit more, but whatever I paid for it, I think it was worth it. And so now I can go from XLR into this, because really what I'm trying to get at is if I plug the XLR cable straight into my interface, it tends to be pretty low, and maybe I can make it louder by turning on phantom power, but I'm not even sure if you're supposed to turn on phantom power on this type of microphone. It just so happens that the preamps require you to turn on this orange light when you use a preamp. So anyway, my point is that XLR, if you buy this microphone or the Shure SM7B and you're not satisfied with the sound and the volume over USB, and then you use XLR, then you're gonna be inclined to say XLR is inherently superior. Or if you've simply already worked with XLR, you're already accustomed to it, experienced with it, then of course you're gonna keep working with what works for you, and I respect that. Or anybody who does that. But ultimately, I did not feel like I was at any disadvantage using this, because this is a quality mic with a built-in interface, right? It's basically an analog. Any microphone is analog with a built-in USB interface. So I'm kind of cutting out the middleman, which is the sound interface, the dedicated sound interface. And yeah, it serves me really well. The reason I chose this microphone as my daily driver is because it's a lot more flexible. One of the things you'll see, like when you watch Coach on Echo Base Network, you'll notice that he's practically like talking into the mic. He's not really sitting too far away. Like right now, I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty close to it. I'm like that close to it right now. So if I sit back, how do I sound? So it works okay, but my VU meter is now like significantly lower. And the only reason the volume level is hitting the yellow zone right now is because of my combination of audio filters, which is something we should touch on briefly right now. So let's talk audio filters. So basically I use the compressor and expander filter. Compressor suppresses really loud noises, so it prevents us from going into the red zone too much. I might be able to make it a little more aggressive, but I decided to leave it, at this setting. We got the expander, which suppresses low background noise, such as the air conditioner that's running. And then we got the VST plugin, which isn't absolutely necessary, but it's really nice to have because, like, testing 1, 2. You can hear my air conditioner right now. Just by me whispering, you can hear my air conditioner if you're wearing headphones. But if I turn on this, now you don't hear my air conditioner. On the other hand, here's the problem. I just remembered. This sometimes clips the T sound is in my voice. So I've tried to, like, reduce the aggressiveness of this filter like that and in other ways to try to, get the benefits of suppressing the air conditioning in a superior way or to have a more advanced, way of suppressing background noise, but in a way that's not totally intrusive. So anyway, yeah, that's the bottom line. So when I did that, when I hooked up the this microphone, one of the first things I did was I took these two filters and I duplicated them, and then I renamed them. So next time I plug in this microphone here, next time I plug that microphone in, we're going to turn off the filters that are active right now, and we're going to switch on the filters which have the corresponding names. So right now I'm speaking into a Samson Q9U dynamic microphone. Next time I switch mics, I'll be using a Samsung like the dog or like the temple G-Track Pro profile. So I got like basically 3 filters for each microphone, and I only use the ones that have the corresponding microphone name in it. So anyway, last few things about XLR that make it good is if you ever watch like any of those podcasts, like the whatever podcast where you got like 6 girls or 5 guys and 5 girls talking and debating each other in the same room, they're not hooking up 6 USB microphones to the same computer. That would be a little too cumbersome. So instead, what they do is, or what I imagine that they are doing is, they're hooking up the oh cool, I see you in the background. Wait, I'll get you in 2 seconds. What they're doing basically is what the hell's on my brain farted? Where were we? Yeah, we'll come back to it. Oh yeah. So how do I phrase this? The XLR. Oh yeah. So basically, if you need to combine multiple audios to an analog mixer, multiple microphones into an analog mixer, XLR is the cable to use. If you need to run a really long analog cable, XLR is the way to go because XLR cable has a 3-pin connection. You can see it right over here on this. And essentially that third pin allows it to perform, the extra pin allows it to do differential signaling. It'll help cancel out back unwanted line noise. So essentially, it's like it's carrying the audio signal. Normally, the audio signal would get interference the longer your cable is, but that extra line is not hooked up to your audio. It's only there to kind of detect the interference, and then essentially is able to cancel it out. There's a whole science behind it. I believe you have to Google the term differential signaling if you want to see how that works. But it's a lot like how twisted pair Ethernet cable works, unshielded twisted pair network cable. It's the same basic concept there. So yeah, XLR excels in that way because USB, when you start running it over a long length, you're not going to get static on it because it's analog. It's all or nothing. But you will get reliability issues. You will get power issues. DC current, electrical current may not carry as well over a long cable. Now there are solutions. On my telescope, I use a special USB extension cable called an upstream extension cable. I've also used USB hubs where I would plug one USB hub into another USB hub, and that would act as a sort of repeater so that I could run a USB cable, a much longer length. I could hook up a USB device further away from the computer than I otherwise would be able to do with conventional extension cables, like a male to female extender. So real quick, let's catch up with the chat. Yep, line loss. That would be part of that. Absolutely. How you doing, Salty Traveling? See? I got you, Wade. Thank you, man. I apologize. I got you, bud. I'm going to bring you in right now, and then we'll do introductions in 2 seconds.
Do you hear me okay?
Hey, what up? Oh, 100%. Well, let's see. Can I hear you? I can hear you. Can everyone hear Wade? Actually, I got to put on my headphones. I got you on my speakers, bud.
Test.
Which is good. I mean, yeah, I could hear you.
No, you know what I did? I'll wait for everybody.
So that,
Give me a minute.
I don't get, we don't cause feedback. So I can turn
No,
off my
you're good.
computer speakers as soon as I hook this up. All
Let me
right.
just tell me when you
Beautiful.
can hear me.
Yes, sir. Oh shit, wrong knob. Oh, all
Tech
right.
problem.
How does this sound, guys? Am I blowing out now? Did I just blow out the
Hold
amplifier?
on. Let me.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
sound
what
good,
I'm
buddy.
doing.
I
No,
can hear you. Hmm.
I'm gonna mute
Oh yeah, let me
if
get
I
you on
hear myself.
screen. Yeah, no doubt. Let me just make some adjustments here. I just realized I'm dominating the screen here. There we go. Got my boy Wade on the right side, left side. My left, your right, I guess, right? To be fair, you are the first person I've seen so far that doesn't need to adjust settings while live, except just now when I turned my knob to max and blew out the
What,
amp.
me?
No, zombie. I mean me. He's looking at
Oh,
me. Zombie's saying that I'm the first person he has. I do all kinds of things on the fly. I just do it very covertly.
you've always used Restream?
I started on StreamYard, and I at some point, like what was it? The Christmas before last Christmas, I did subscribe to the paid one of the paid subscriptions, and I mostly use it. I mean, I keep access to StreamYard, because I like to do recordings when I want to test it. So if I'm joining someone's show and I need to do like the robot voice modulator, where it does a voice changer, I'll test it out on StreamYard, and then I'll go on their show. So it's like, yeah, I jump into StreamYard sometimes, but I'm
I'm just
pretty happy.
debating on switching.
I mean,
Link,
I'd say
Link,
use. Mhm.
Link just wants me to use Restream. I'm like, I don't know that I like Restream, but
I
that's
mean, I'd say just play with it, and if you're comfortable
yeah.
already, don't change what you got. You like, if you're happy with Stream, does
No,
StreamYard
but the
give you any
problem
trouble?
is no, the problem is Streamer has only 20 hours, so I had it set up on YouTube for. Well, do you care if I say why? I mean, if people saw on Twitter, they know why. But do you
Yeah,
care?
I dig it. I mean, but so far, I think like your streams seem to work pretty well. Like once in a while your dog pops into the room, that can be fun in a way. But
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it doesn't give you like like
No,
issues.
no. Basically, the problem. I had it set up on
Mhm.
StreamYard. Basically, I have two accounts I switched between because of 20 hours. Didn't realize I was close to 20 hours on one, so I had to set up the other one because it was full. So I have to go swip, you know, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, that's
I
all.
dig that.
I took down two streams to reset them all. So
Yeah. I know the deal with that. I had to do that a few times. And real quick, I see that. Yeah, you got a interesting point there. Zombie bites everything. And the second thing he said, wait, I misplaced his message. Yeah.
are you?
Everyone else I see is always fixing things on the fly. Hence why I just use a headset. One plug, no adjustment needed. And that makes sense because like sometimes like if I unplug a USB device, if I switch different devices, that's weird. Give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. If I switch between different devices, I'll lose control over something until, well, I'll discover that it changed my main microphone. So like I'll unplug it, plug it back in, and the next time I join a stream, it's trying to use like the microphone. If I was on a laptop, it might use my crappy built-in microphone, or in my case, it might use the microphone built into my second webcam if it has a. I don't even know if it has a microphone, but you get the idea. So
I just remember your turtle.
oh yeah. I got a turtle
How's the
camera hooked
turtle,
up.
anyways? Side
Oh,
note.
they're doing all right. I got a couple of them in the tank. We could
You had
check
a
on them.
couple?
Yeah, I got two in the same tank. We'll pop into the live camera in a little while and
Sorry, I
check them
didn't mean
out.
to derail on my.
Nah, yeah, it's
Anyways,
all good. I'm gonna just load the website
no,
up
you're
so
good. You're
I
good.
have it on screen, and then we're gonna jump into space in 2 seconds. Let me make
I
sure I
finally
make.
made it on a stream. How many
Yeah,
tries
right.
did you do?
Like I said
What are
like
we
two
up
weeks
to?
ago,
5?
something like that. What I think we did yeah, I think we're about on 5. Yeah. But like I remember like weeks ago, I said come on, and then like I said, I keep my word. Like next time you want to jump on, like here you are. So I'm happy to have you on and shit.
No, the problem was I did a stream. Then I was like, I haven't heard from DJ from you. And then I'm like, look up how long it till start time. I'm like, oh. So I was gonna do an hour stream, and then next thing you know, I was like, cut it short. So that's why I said 30 minutes, but I'm like, the more I thought about it, when you said an hour, I'm like, let's end the other one, mine. So
Well, yeah, whatever works. I appreciate you accommodating, and coming through. So this is the
I
live
just didn't
turtle.
realize. I thought you meant an hour from now, not
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Like I always start 10:45.
like
I try to end at 11:45. Sometimes I go over, but I really am trying not to because, like, I become a zombie for 5 a.m. But check this out. I got the turtle cam up right now. That's live. That's
Why is
the
it
second.
black?
It's in black and white because it's it's infrared night vision. So I still got to make some adjustments. You got to aim it a little differently, but you can see like
no
the
bar.
front. Yeah, that's like basically like so she can't climb out and when I'm at work and get hurt.
Oh,
They climb.
You were talking about it.
I mean, like you got it right here.
Yeah,
like
that clip.
Yeah, they do this, so that's why I got to be careful. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's what we got. So, basically right now there's not much to see, but this has been recording, so I got to go back to the log and make some backups of the footage, and then we'll be able to make some cute clips or something. But
you should make it. You know what you should make? Make the turtle like a turtle YouTube channel.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what the turtles' names are because I forget. I don't know.
I like to bring them on as guests, but a while back I was gonna do a blog, and the blogs, I mean, they're not bad, but like, it just doesn't, I wasn't enthusiastic enough to follow through on it. So at this point, I could do a dedicated turtle channel, which might be a smart thing because sometimes it's good to split up your content a little bit so that if you hit the third rail.
Channels, so what do I know?
Because I like having one channel. It's convenient, it's neat, but there are times where, like, if I talk about something like sensitive, I got to worry about, getting in trouble. Not in trouble, but just like messing up my place. Like right now, I'm stuck at 333 subscribers. Now, that might be natural.
Bye, Bone.
Oh yeah, see you later, Bone. Thanks for dropping by.
See ya, Bone.
But I might maybe it's like because I'm not putting enough uploads up, so I'm not gonna complain until I do more uploads, and then if I'm not getting subs after that, I might say, okay, maybe I need to branch off and have a separate channel.
Hey, I know they totally. I don't know what they did, but they totally. I don't know. It's YouTube being YouTube. Sorry to make a rant, but
Yeah,
I noticed it. I used to get. I mean, I wouldn't get 1K. I don't know if it. I still got to figure out if it's what I think it is, but anyways, you always hear it, but you never realize it till. But anyways, but yeah, so that's why I just decided to cut it short. I was just doing an impromptu stream. What are we looking at, son?
Yeah, so right now we're going to take a look at our local Stella neighborhood, and that's basically the main plan for today's show. So right now we're starting with our son, like you said, and
wait, why is this small?
What do you mean? Well, it's huge. I'm flying out.
Oh, I thought you were like, what?
Like, I mean, like it's like this app has different brightness settings, so it's like
that makes sense. That's
but like if
spot, isn't it?
Yeah, and in real life it would look like this to us, to the human eye it would be obscenely bright. But anyway, so right now we're locked in on the sun so we can spin around it, and what I want to, I'm not really going to focus on the solar system too much because I do that a lot. Like I've done multiple videos. I mean, I'll revisit the solar system, but we'll do a brief overview because, you got the inner planets, you got, everything from Mercury, Earth, Venus, and Mars. But a lot of people don't talk about Ceres, and Ceres is in the, you ever hear the TV show or the sci-fi show called The Expanse?
Heard of it, never saw it.
Basically, this is like where one of the big settlements. This is where a lot of people on that show lived. And
so you're saying Coruscant?
Well, they don't have Coruscant yet. Coruscant happens like after a time jump. This is more like Deep Space Nine, but in the solar system.
Why is it black?
Oh, we're looking at the dark side, and it's a lot. So this is an asteroid, but they consider it a dwarf planet, and you can see just by the angle. Yes, exactly like Pluto.
Wait, so I'm so confused. Did they put Pluto as a planet again?
It depends on who you ask, but technically it's still a dwarf planet, and for good reason. And I can show you exactly why. So if you make Pluto a planet, the problem is, oh, we got a lot of chat. What up there, Chaos? Good to see you, man. Yeah, we're doing well. Let's say hi to Chaos for you. Yeah, they are clever escape artists, Chaos. Good to see you, man. My brother would use a floating island as a means to prop itself up on the corner of the aquarium. What was when it was too full? If the aquarium is too full, yeah, but that's true because I fill up the water because it evaporates quickly. But if you fill up the turtle tank too much, they do have an easier time. Oh, I'll show you
Wait,
Uranus.
what? Go back
Hmm?
one. Go back one.
Oh yeah. You're good, Chaos, right now on my channel, but there
You're
are times.
good. You're good, Chaos.
What happens on my channel is I mean sometimes like when like last week, like literally 3 days in a row on Loki's channel, I was typing in the chat on my work computer and nobody was replying to me. So then I went on my phone, I sent a message, and immediately people were like, "Hey, what up, DJ Ronnie G? Hail!" And I'm like, "Wait a second." And this is like the second time it's happened to me. It happened to me on Snowdub channel for like a month and a half before it got fixed. And he managed to figure out what he did was he banned me and then unbanned me. So I wasn't banned, but he banned me anyway. And then simply by
to autocorrect it.
It seemed to that seemed to do the trick. But other times it happens to Punk Waddle. He'll go to like watch a live stream, a live show on the memes of destruction, and the same thing will happen for like no reason. And we're thinking it's probably because like maybe I just crack an off-color joke or something that the algorithm doesn't like, or that they that flags something. But it worked itself out. So sometimes like I wouldn't be surprised if it happens to people on my channel or if it happens to other people. I mean, like because it's definitely something that was alien
that makes
to me.
Sense. I don't see it on the back end like I don't know, restream. Like you see where the chat is on our side.
Yep. Yeah, you mean what do you mean?
I don't see all that. I don't see like that.
What do you see?
Last one I saw was Glenn.
Oh, so like
what the coffee comment? I don't know.
I mean,
restream.
But I'm turning. I see. He's like, I mean, basically, like this is what it looks like to me. I mean, except obviously it's looping itself because I'm showing the screen itself.
Yeah.
Like I had. Oh, you know why you can't see the chat? Check this out. I mean, I don't know if this is part of it, but on the right side of the video box, you got this chat button here, and this is great because it unifies the YouTube chat, and I think
Hey, Snowdub.
Yeah, I think it integrates the Twitter X chat, so I should be able to receive messages.
See nothing. All I see is last comment was.
It's also possible that I have to do something like grant you permission. No,
that's fine. I see all the thing. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm always learning on the fly too.
I don't know Restream. I just only use StreamYard.
What up, Timboghini too? What up, Timbo? Good to see you, bud. He has some bumping content once again in recent time. But I'm honored to have the Carlos Fish in the chat today. I mean, of course, I'm honored to have Snowdub. I don't want to put you down. I want to pretend like you're chopped liver. But Carlos Fish.
What am I? I'm chopped liver. Okay.
No, you're on the show already. You're here. You're already the feature presentation.
See, well, I was trying to be funny there, but
no, I think I'm being funny too, man.
No, but I'm like, it's not my channel, so I'm like more on edge. You never know what people.
Yo, tell me about. I'm on edge when I have new guests.
I don't even know, But anyways,
I dig it. So interesting about a series is that there is some like ice on there, so there's potential for colonizing it. I think there's like evidence like.
Wait. When zoom in. Is that the ice?
That might be ice. I'm not really sure. If it's not ice, it's somewhere else. But like the problem with ice in space is if you're too close to the sun, it immediately melts and evaporates, and so you can't even have liquid water in space really. But if you're in a shadowy crater, like if you're in a crater like on the North Pole, which on the moon, for example. Let me see if we can get like so I mean we could get a view where we can see like what it looks like from the ground if we want. On the Expanse, they kind of hollowed this out and spun it around, but so that you could like walk on the inside wall with gravity. But that really wouldn't work with this because you would have a bunch of gravel and dirt flying off of the surface if you spun it around like that. But it's got its own gravity on the surface. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's like the moon basically. So basically, like if you're looking at if you look at the North Pole, like which is I think roughly here, there's some craters will always be in shadow. In fact, I could probably replicate it right now by playing time in fast. Yeah, there we go. So somewhere in there's going to be a crater that is almost always in shadow, and that's basically like the best spot to look for ice. Now, the only question I have is about Ceres is let me just get the time. I'm gonna pause time. Is I don't know if it's in the Goldilocks zone. You know, like the three little bears, not too hot, not too cold. So Earth is. Oh yeah, no, it's not in the Goldilocks zone. So that's why you gotta have ice in that crater. So anything
Wait,
close.
but
Mhm.
hold on. Where is where's that meteor that they say is really big that's gonna hit Earth for the 100th time?
I
That's
don't
never hit
know.
yet.
I haven't got around to looking into that yet. Maybe we'll get into that before the show wrap up because that is kind of a cool thing. More that is a current
So
event and
I'm just throwing
timely
stuff out.
thing.
I'm like, I can tell you in space.
I dig
So.
it. And we got Sassy here. I wonder if that's a
Hey,
related
no,
to
it's
that.
who?
Any relationship to Sassy Sasquatch?
No,
Okay, different Sassy. Well, not, thank you for
the
joining us,
one that
Sassy.
she's on Twitter.
Cool.
The problem is she was on mine, and I ended it sooner than I thought because I felt really bad that I was late to yours.
Oh,
Because
like
I
I
thought it
say,
was
yeah.
at 11:45, not 10:45. Anyway, because I'm an
Yeah, I.
hour behind you, so I'm trying to do the math. I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
and
I
then I
always
saw
forget
the
that.
notification type found you. I just haven't. I've been too busy with
I
life,
dig it.
and so that's why I'm like. So I was gonna raid you, but for some reason it won't let me. I don't know if you have to do
Oh,
permissions or whatever.
I
So
think
I
I
was
if you
gonna do it, but I couldn't do it, so I put the link in the last stream. So,
if
anyways,
you're talking
that's
about like a
how.
redirect, yeah, if it's a
Yes.
redirect, you gotta yeah, you'd have to yeah, I have to add permission on my YouTube channel, which is pretty easy.
No,
I got
you're fine. I was just like putting
yeah.
context.
I mean, it's a good idea to be able to redirect. So right here, we're looking at where's Carlos Speech? Hey, Carlos Speech, we're looking at Uranus. Wait, was it called? Who asked for Uranus? Was it Carlos or someone else? Well,
Wait,
either way,
why is
who?
Uranus blue?
I know it's a
I always
medical
thought it was
problem.
white.
Well, that would also be a medical problem, but this is a real. You're right. Yeah, if
No,
Uranus is
you
blue,
ha 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 ha.
but and also
I'm shocked someone had.
Uranus has rings on it too. I mean, this is a problem,
No,
man.
really? I don't
It
see
has
the
very.
rings.
They're very light. Like you can see like these little like streaks that I'm flying in on. Yeah, I'm gonna just zoom. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna make this full screen so people can see it, and we'll take a look at Apophis in a
But they
little
can
while.
still hear me, right?
Yeah, can everyone hear? Give me a one if you can hear. No, they should definitely hear you. I got you. If I can hear you, they can hear you. Give me a one if you can hear. Wade. I have no doubt they can hear you. Hell, if you want
No,
to test it,
I don't know why I thought of that, but
if you want to test
yeah.
it, say something really offensive, and then like see if it gets me shut down. That would be like,
Monkey waffle.
oh, YouTube's cutting it out. But jokes aside, yeah, there we go. We're gonna fly inside a ring of Uranus, Uranus. I'm trying to say it like the Greeks say it now. Uranus, Uranus. See, look, you guys can't make me make. Oh God, I'm going too fast. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, they hear me because I just went to the stream and it's cut it. I mean, it's delayed, but I don't know. It's fine.
No worries. Yeah.
I mean, you know how it is streaming.
Yeah, I dig it. Oh, I see. I was on the wrong monitor.
I'll shut the mouth trap.
No worries, man.
Like
You know, we just
stream like you normally do.
yeah, you know,
Now
instead
I
of
know why
bullshit around.
we don't have as often guests. They
No,
do really, yeah.
I don't. I'll have plenty of questions for you in due course, so you'll get opportunities. No worries. So yeah, check this out.
I'm trying to be funny.
Ah, I appreciate it, man.
I mean, you've been on.
I think people have it. I think it's a riot right now. Yeah.
A what?
A
Sorry,
riot.
I was playing Halo 5.
Oh yeah, it's like a riot right now. So yeah. Anyway, this is a boring ring. Oh wait, wait. Let me see something here. I gotta do something here. Wait, I gotta turn on. Sometimes with these planet rings, you gotta like. No, this is weird. This must be made of thin ice or something. So usually when you fly inside a ring, you get like a bunch of these giant rocks that look like pieces of ice or chunks of ice. But anyway, bottom line is, yeah, it's got very simple rings. But let's keep going out of the solar system. Now, real quick, I should make note that Uranus has many moons. So you'll see these yellow lines here. Those are the major moons.
12 of them?
At least. Because the thing is that you got two types of moons. You got regular moons, major moons, which are like, similar, like just like how we have moons and all these
Like
other planets
Pluto.
have moons. And then you got dwarf moons like Pluto. Well, you got dwarf planets and dwarf moons. And so just like how a major planet would be like anything up to Neptune, so like Mercury, Mars, Earth, etc. Neptune, those are major planets. This is a weird moon. Look at that. This is based on real imagery. So as we get out further, some of the things are inferred. They're not based on real imagery. But you can see right here. And that's weird. I gotta fix that setting real quick. I don't like when it
What are you
does
talking
that.
about?
Oh no,
Sorry,
it's a very minor thing, but it's a vertical synchronization. There we go. I get display tearing. So anyway, there we
Where are
go.
you at, zombie? Are you on the Australia? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, he's on the other side of the globe right now.
I don't
This
know.
is a
What?
this is a heavily scarred moon. I mean, holy crap! Like that's got like a weird shape on it. Probably somewhat earthquake prone. But anyway, that's like one example. But let's take a look at a minor moon before we leave the Uranus system. I guess they would call it. Oh, that's weird. I'm having a little control issue here.
Hope it's not because of me.
Nah,
Maybe the first time.
this weird shit happens sometimes.
Hopefully, my button mashing isn't too loud. I just want to get a couple games in of Halo 5.
I can always mute you.
Now, I know, worst case scenario, I'll look over. I'm like, oh, I'm muted. Great.
Oh, there we go. I was flying into the planet by accident. That's what went wrong. So, we're gonna look at let's see, we'll go to Crested. That's a minor moon. So actually, that's what I should do instead. Is can we look at Sailor Moon next? Oh boy, I got a playlist for you, David Glenn. Oh wait, you're not talking about that. You're talking about actual moon. Yes, we can look at this the moon. Oh wait, I'm confused now. Which one? Maybe we should save that for the end. But there we go. So this is a minor moon. You notice that minor moons, guys, and this is both hey, what up, James? Good to see you. You'll notice everyone here that it's kind of misshapen like an asteroid. So essentially that's the mark of a minor moon versus a major moon. But the last thing about minor moons I want to show you is something that we're not seeing. Because remember, the minor moons aren't listed. Like you can see these points of light around Uranus, and those are all moons. We got Belinda, Puck, Mab, Bianca, Juliet, names that I don't remember. I'm just reading them off the screen. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn on a setting that is going to reveal the orbits. So right now we can only see the orbits of the major moons. And right now we're going to turn on this filter. We're going to say, show me dwarf moons. And this is funny. So this here, right off the bat, you can see all of these orange rings that we couldn't see before. Those are the minor moons of Uranus. And then as we fly out, we start to see that there's a number of moons on wide orbit. So these were all before, these were all invisible until I showed it. But if you think Uranus has a lot of moons, wait till I show Jupiter's moons. In fact, you could already see Jupiter because of the orange shit. That's Jupiter's dwarf moons. So one of the reasons why I disable the orbits of dwarf moons is because, otherwise you wouldn't even be able to find a planet that is inside. Like in the case of Jupiter, it's just surrounded by a network of small and large moons. And I think one of the moons we should look at is maybe Amalthea or Adrastea. Let's see. We'll take a look at Adrastea. I think it's a Greek name. So real quick, let's see here. James said, I fell asleep on good logic. And the way my thing is set up, every time oh, you know what? I'm going to fix this right now. I got to press Alt-Enter. I should have done this in the beginning. So when you run Space Engine in full screen mode, oh, come on, Windows. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Gonna live with it. All right. So, guys, we're now in ultra widescreen mode, but you guys are only going to see the middle of my screen, and we're going to have to live with that. But anyway, yeah, now I can click on the chat. So, whenever I click on another app while I'm in full screen mode, Space Engine goes blank. But now we're good. So, real quick, this looks like a walnut, and unfortunately, it's in the shadow side of things right now. So, what we're going to try to do is we're going to speed up time. Just like that. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, like a walnut kind of, or like a clam, or the inside of a clam. So now, let's get out of our solar system once more, and then maybe...
I was going to say acorn, but that's me.
Oh, yeah, well, now that works. That's the thing. And one of the things
I was going to say the other true word, but I'm not even saying it.
Yeah, so some of them look like scrotums. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but one of the things actually I do want to briefly mention was... my theory, at least. I mean, I never looked into this. I never read anything, or at least not about the moons that we're looking at right now. But one of the things I noticed is that it's a pretty common pattern, a common trait for small moons to have this like weird, like out band around, or a weird belt. And my theory is, just a guess, but that when this moon was formed, it was sort of like molten metal, molten magma, molten rock. So like lava, magma, glowing, liquid rock. And it's spinning down and cooling down. So if something was spinning around and it was made of liquid rock, the part that's spinning, the equator is going to have stuff coming out like a mountain, basically. So I think this thing was just cooling down, from lava, and that's how you got this shape. Whereas if this was a larger moon, its own mass, its own weight, its own gravity would have tucked in the belt. So it's sort of like it's growing a gut, and it's not big. Well, it's kind of the opposite reason why fat people have a gut. If planets are really fat, they don't get a gut. I'm confused now. Let's not use weird analogies. All right, moving along here. Okay, so we're leaving the Jovian system because, yeah, Jupiter essentially has its own system around it. I mean, look, we got a freaking moon named Themisto. Oh shit, I didn't say good morning to Mephisto's movie reviews this morning, I don't think. He said good morning to me, and I didn't reply to Mephisto. I believe Wade went on mute, which is all good. But if you have
What?
audio, I couldn't hear you for a minute there. I don't know if you were talking.
No, I was muted.
Okay, cool. And as long as you know you're muted, I just want to make sure. So now here's the reason why we don't call Pluto a planet, and why it's not a dwarf, or why it's a dwarf planet. I'm going to show you, before we leave the solar system, a couple of dwarf planets, like roughly the size of Pluto. So number one is Haumea. Haumea was discovered in 2003, I believe. Yeah, 2003. So this was a relatively new discovery with like modern telescopes, and it's got a couple of dwarf moons, and that's actually one of the reasons why I'm glad I enabled the dwarf moon orbit, so that we can see the dwarf moons easily around this. But right off the bat, it looks like a dinosaur egg. Like it's got that egg-shaped thing going on, and we can fast forward it. We can go and we could like make it orbit the sun if we want. Oops, maybe too fast. I did this. I almost made Punk Waddle sick a few weeks ago. Doing this. Yeah, let's try to get this spin a little bit more, because essentially one of the traits that you'll see here. That's a good. Yes, that is correct, David Glenn. I do believe that the moon is larger than Titan, which is wait, I'm sorry. The moon Titan is bigger than Pluto. Well, let's check. We can check that. So real quick, yes. So there's the ring, and you can see the sun is below the planet, at least from this angle. And so because it's below, it actually casts a shadow of the ring on the top. Then we got Maki Maki, which is like its next door neighbor. And then we got more dwarf moons. So like we got, not dwarf moons, dwarf planets. So Maki Maki is over here. It's kind of just a round icy rock. Now everything from here on forth, except for Pluto, is inferred. But real quick to touch on David Glenn's question or observation. It's a good question. All right. So here's the solar system chart right here. And we can arrange it by mass. So we're going to hide the sun because we don't need to see the sun. I'm going to hide all of the big stuff. Except, so there we go. Now we got everything like, from Earth onward. Now, David asked, is Titan smaller than our moon? Does it show our moon? Okay, Titan is bigger than our moon, but our moon is bigger than Europa. It's bigger than Pluto. Oh, he did say that. I'm sorry, David Glenn. I misread your message. Someone spilled barbecue. Now we got all these weird moons. Somebody spilled the barbecue. Now we got all these weird, yeah, right? Seriously, God's barbecue. If it was anyone's. Seems like good times, comparatively, doesn't it? Spin cooling. A kinder, gentler America. 1,000 points of light. I'm a little behind. I apologize. So yeah, that's the answer. So yeah, right off this chart, you can see that Titan is indeed larger. So Titan is I'm sorry, I'm going backwards. Yeah, Triton is smaller. Okay, so the moon is 3,400 kilometers. The diameter of Triton is 2,700 kilometers. Pluto, it's got a smaller diameter, so small it's not even listed here at 2,300 kilometers. So bottom line is like the moon is like almost not quite twice the size, but it's kind of, no wait, I'm reading the numbers wrong. It's about 30% larger. And so actually now, speaking of dwarf moons, we got Pluto, and Pluto would be like the last dwarf planet. I keep mixing up dwarf moons and dwarf planets, but Pluto does have, because it is a dwarf planet, any moons which orbit Pluto are considered dwarf moons. And so right here, my watch vibrated to remind me it's almost time, which I'm not rushing out. It's a good thing I set my watch. So anyway, the way that we got pictures of Pluto that were this clear, and I think we should look up a picture of Pluto before we actually found it. Something Yoshi, yeah, right. Seriously, like that. That's the thing about Humea. It looks like some shit Yoshi would come out of. So what was I gonna type in here? Oh yeah, Pluto. Before New Horizons. Let's see if we can find like a picture here. So, what I would really like to find is the picture of Pluto that I saw when I was like looking at Wikipedia like 10, 15 years ago. But barring that, we'll just go with the pictures that we have here. Like actually, like I think like let's see here, real image of Pluto, Reddit, because I remember like 10 years ago, right before the New Horizons probe launched, that all we have is a picture. Okay, here's like the Hubble Space Telescope image, but that's not even like the new, the best one they had at that time. But that's one example. So we got that one. And then 9 years ago, this would have been like from when the New Horizons probe was starting to approach it. And let me see here, like low res Hubble view Pluto. Okay, let's see if we got a picture of Pluto from the Hubble. So yeah, there we go. It would have looked a lot like some of these here, and I'm just trying to see if I can get one. Like, oh, good. Okay, so I found the one from So this is like one example of what Pluto was imaged as. We were basically just measuring brightness spots. Here's another example of what Hubble was able to resolve of Pluto, because Pluto is obscenely small. So how do we get these new nice pictures of Pluto? Basically, it was the New Horizons probe or New Horizons mission. And the images that I just showed you, some of them came from Hubble. Some of them came from, other telescopes, even ground-based telescopes. Usually they're pretty clearly labeled. And in a moment, I'm going to show you like some of the, dwarf planets that have real images. So actually, I literally said I wasn't going to do dwarf planets. So that's kind of funny how we're focusing on these. But real quick, so yeah, this hot-shaped area is called Sputnik Planitia. And the way the New Horizons probe got to Pluto, it took 10 years. It's basically the fastest man-made probe sent this far out. And because it was going so fast and had no way of slowing down, they had to do a fast flyby. So while it was flying by, it began taking pictures, as it got close enough. And then it continued taking pictures as it was flying away. But the problem with Pluto is you can sort of see already the back of it is blurry. And that's because by the time the probe did its initial flyby, that side of Pluto was already like too far away to get a clear picture of. And so we got some very, very clear pictures to the point that we could land on Pluto or simulate landing on Pluto and kind of get a good idea of what it's supposed to be. And even though these images look like caca from over here, I mean, you can see this crater here, right? I mean, if we think about it, that's still not that bad. I mean, that's a hell of a lot more detail than the Hubble imagery we saw a moment ago. So even if this blurry portion is, that's progress compared to like what we had before the New Horizons mission. But up here, yeah, this is amazing right here. Now, moving out from Pluto, and we're going to skip all of the dwarf moons of Pluto. Perhaps I will focus on dwarf moons another day. You'll see right over here, we already looked at Humea and Maki Maki. We looked at Pluto. Everything basically before Pluto, so Neptune to Mercury, those are all major planets except for Ceres. Ceres, oh, I forgot to mention, Ceres is between Mars and Jupiter. It effectively marks the asteroid belt. So that Ceres orbit, that is the asteroid belt. So anyway, now we got that done. We'll touch on all the others. So we already looked at Humea. We already looked at, Maki Maki we don't really care about. We didn't look at. We're going to look at two more dwarf planets before we leave our solar system. So the first one is Eris. And this one here, let's get a real picture of Eris, because this is like, let's see, Eris dwarf moon real pic. Because the pictures are not any of these. This is basically like pictures from the Caltech Observatory. I think Calgary, so this is what we actually get. These are some of the artist renditions. they kind of map the orbit. Here's a picture of like the orbit of its moon. So based on like some of the information and the way the orbits are, not we, but real astronomers were able to estimate the mass. And so basically they know that it's approximately, or they believe it's approximately 2,300 kilometers. So it's about in the ballpark of the size of Pluto. We know that it has a moon because we saw that little dot. And one of the things that even without a clear picture of the moon, you can take pictures over the course of a week or days or months or years, and you'll be able to see that that moon is basically moving in a circle. And so that's how we got the imagery for this moon right over here. But all we know is that it's the smaller size, it reflects less light, so apparently they gave it a different simulated texture. There are ways of looking at the light that reflects off of a planet or a rock, and based on the way that the light reflects, you can put it through a prism, get that little rainbow color thing going, and using the way that basically they have ways of determining what stuff or what gases are in a planet. So now we got that out of the way. We're going to look at one more dwarf planet, and it's actually classified as an asteroid. And I should note that Pluto is on like a 240-year orbit. It takes 1 year for Pluto is 240 of our year. So it goes around the sun once every 240. Eris goes around the sun once every 600. Sedna takes 12,000 years to go on this orbit. And another reason I selected Sedna is because now we can go on our interstellar journey. So can you guess, Wade, what our nearest what the nearest star to Earth is?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna. I don't know.
You ever hear of you ever hear of a little place called Alpha Centauri?
Nope. Oh, yes.
Well, it's not Alpha Centauri, but it's near Alpha Centauri. So we're gonna get to that now. Real quick, let's touch on questions here. Oh crap! I think I just fought. I meant to hit the mute button and I farted. Anyway, where was I? Would a large telescope on the moon be a good idea? A large telescope might be a good idea. A large radio telescope on the other side of the moon would be an amazing idea, because you got the craters already. So if you just pick a large crater, you could pretty much, you just pick a large crater and you build it. You put like a reflector in there, and you got a good satellite dish. You got a good radio telescope. And James Webb, I think, is on the other side of the sun. It's got a sun shield, so it's pretty well protected too. So the correct answer is Proxima Centauri, but Alpha Centauri is close. So let's go and highlight that real quick. Or let's see if we can eyeball it. We're going to eyeball it. So how do I eyeball it? Well, I have a process. So first, we're going to pick Sol again, because I need to make sure that I lock my rotation with Sol. Then we're going to do Sedna again, so we can see. Sedna's orbit's like the only one we can actually see from this far away. And we're just going to look for Alpha Centauri. So it's right there. So how do I know that's Alpha Centauri? Well, it's bright as F. It says A Centauri on it. And since I'm spinning around our solar system, what's cool is as I spin around the solar system, you can see how Alpha Centauri is passing in front of us. So right now, I'm about 6 light years away from Earth. Alpha Centauri is about 5 light years away. So as I move closer, so the thing is, it's a trick question. Is Alpha Centauri our nearest star? Well, we thought it was until we realized it's not. And we'll show you in, okay, I'm going too fast. Wait, I know, I got a trick for this. All right, so let's center it. All right, so, okay, I got it. Sorry for the speed. Okay, so Alpha Centauri is one of those double stars that when you zoom in on it with a telescope, it becomes evident that it's actually 2 stars orbiting each other. And then we already can see one more star. If I could just find it. Oh God, what did I just do? Let me okay, Alpha. Okay, let me just fix this up here. Okay, so there's Alpha Centauri. There it is. Found it. Okay, we're gonna rotate around Alpha Centauri. And the reason we're gonna do that is because when you rotate around Alpha Centauri, we should be able to see something. Oh goodness gracious! I keep going too fast. I gotta slow that down. Right, we're gonna find it. I'm determined to find the object, because I can find the missing object with my eyeball without, with the search feature. But I want to prove I can find it with my eyeball. So we're gonna crank up the brightness a little bit. That does get a little crowded. And we're gonna find Proxima. So yeah, that's the short answer. The short answer is the nearest star to Earth is Proxima Centauri. It's like barely half a light year away from Earth, and I believe it's down here. Okay, so let's zoom out of Alpha Cent a little bit, and you can see this object that's so dim that it's not even labeled from this far away. But if I was to fly past Alpha Cent and towards Proxima, this is indeed our nearest star at about 4 point something light years away. Let's just say it's just shy of 5. And, we can't go far at the speed of light, so it might take us twice as long. It might take us 4 times as long, depending on, what method we use. But we do have some exoplanet detections in Alpha Centauri. So if we, we could go and center ourselves on it and press F8 or F9. And now we got Proxima Centauri. I always mix it up with Alpha. We got Proxima Centauri C, which apparently has a humongous ring system around it. And then we got these two objects, which this looks like a sort of a partial water world, but it is cold. It's got a humongous ice cap on it. You can see like the ice on the top and bottom. And obviously these aren't like real pictures. These are more like inferred, but we have a general idea of how they rotate, how they do their things, how the ice forms. So that's our nearest stellar neighborhood. And so before we, I got lost. Okay, we're gonna hit escape, and we're gonna pick Proxima C. We're gonna go to it. I'm gonna read the chat. So anyway, and yes, every time I click on a different app, it gets choppy. That's by design. I think David Glenn is correct according to newer naming conventions. Yes, Alpha Centauri, Proxima Centauri is correct. So basically, Alpha Centauri and Proxima are very close neighbors. So you wouldn't be wrong to assume it's Alpha Centauri because, I mean, for the longest time, it was identified as our nearest star. Proxima Centauri, albeit close, it is obscenely dim. So it would have, it took a long time for us to get, a proper detection. Detachable eyeball. This guy is a superhero or a cyborg or something. You talking about my eyeball? Okay. Or a binary system. Yeah, binary. And then you got the non-binary systems, who don't identify as binary.
Hey, DJ.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure there's not a planet called Pen?
Pen?
In Japanese.
Like pen, like PEN?
No. Do you remember the stream you were on and we showed the pen and it made the pen joke of mine?
I don't remember this instant. It'll probably come back to me at the most obscure time of my day. I mean, if you refresh my memory, I might remember. But yeah, at the moment,
do you remember it?
I don't think I do.
Let me see if I can find it quick.
So yeah, this thing's got a big mother effing ring on it, bottom line, and this is a frigid mini Jupiter. So maybe terraformable cold planet. Yeah, that's a cool idea. That's possible. And look, I mean, I think like we shouldn't be counting on terraforming, or at least if we do terraforming, James, it's ideal to proof of concept, that sort of thing, in our solar system. But if we found a planet around Proxima that had a magnetic field, but it just didn't have, it wasn't habitable, yeah, I think any planet with the right gravity, gosh, I'll pop you in 2 seconds. Any planet with the right gravity, and a magnetic field and water would be a damn good start. Oh, Penn and Teller. He goes. Yeah,
remember that's what I was talking about.
Oh, like the guys, you mean those comedian guys? Let's see, I'm gonna put the video.
No, wow, it was you. What? You hit play.
Okay, I'm gonna hit play right now. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna fill it up.
It says this is a pin.
Oh.
You get it now?
Got you. My Gundam markers. Oh yeah. The Gundam markers. I got a bunch of them here.
I thought you would remember, but of course.
Like these shits.
I don't see you get stuff fly.
Oh, I have this thing.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. I'll take it down.
I'll even put you on the corners. So yeah, these things are cool. I got a spray gun for these too that works pretty decently. I still got my work cut out for me. That's a whole other topic. Maybe tomorrow when I go enjoy snacks in Punk Water, if they do nip and nag. But I did a cheap paint job on this. It's almost like an automotive finish, and I used a clear coat. But anyway, let's get real quick, bang this out. So bottom line is, we're gonna not do the whole local stellar neighborhood today. We're gonna just do one more planet. So we did one more star. We did Alpha Centauri. We did Proxima Centauri. Now, the problem with this app is it's really hard to see dim stars. And one of the things I didn't do ahead of time was I would have loved to do was get a picture that is separate from this app that shows nearby stars. But barring that, what we can see right here is let's see. Okay, so we were here at Alpha Centauri. Our sun is right there. So this is right there gives you an idea of our solar system in 3D. It just gives you like I mean not just our solar system, but like our place in the cosmos with our nearest neighbors. So what comes next? I believe I'm gonna say Epsilon Eridani, and I like the name, so we're gonna stick with that. And so how do we find Epsilon Eridani? Well, we know it's about I think 10 light years out, so we got to go a bit further, maybe 15 light years. So here we are. So now we're spinning around. We got a couple of popular stars, and unfortunately, some of these stars don't even show up until you get really close to them, which is kind of annoying. But that's just dictated by how some stars are really bright and some are really dim. So it's like impossible. Like right here, like I can actually see like 3 little points of light: 36 Ophiuchi, Gliese 667. And one of the things that I did in this app was there's a setting where you could tell the app like, to show you fake planets in orbit of real planets. So I mean, if you find a real star, a star that exists, but we never found planets around it, it'll generate fake planets around it, procedural planets they call them. I turned that feature off, so a lot of times, like you're not going to see as many planets. You certainly like one of the things I noticed, like when we went to Alpha Centauri just now. And let me just get Epsilon Eridani because I can't find it. So we're gonna just look. We're gonna manually. Okay, there's Epsilon Eridani. So now, let me see here. We're gonna do. Can I eyeball the sun? Well, I don't want to eyeball the sun. That would be bad for my eyes. Ooh, I'm getting dizzy here. All right, let's not be dizzy. So let's just go to Epsilon Eridani instead. And so while we're flying to Epsilon Eridani, we're gonna select the sun. Oh, there's the sun. So you can see the sun down here, and I'm literally flying towards Alpha Centauri to the right. We just flew past it, and now we're at Epsilon Eridani. The sun is about 10 light years away from this. So we're about 11 light years here. Now, here's a solid example. With Epsilon Eridani, we only... Why do I keep hitting that one? We can only see the one... damn it, that's not the right planet. Oops. Sorry about that. That's going to be F9. Oh, why do I keep... Okay, F8. That's F... 8. Okay. There we go. So we only have this one planet. I can't pronounce it. If anyone can pronounce it, I think it's like Elon Musk's daughter's name, Ashger or Eager or Iger. But it's a gas giant, and it's got these purple rings. I don't know if it has purple rings in real life, but we have a general idea that it's got an atmospheric composition, which contains... Where does it say the atmospheric composition? Also, that it's really far away from the target. Okay, so how do I click on it? Okay, here we are. It's got H2, helium, and methane. So H2, I guess that's hydrogen, helium, and methane. So, we don't. But my point is that that's a large enough object. Oh, I'm going too fast. That's a large enough object to have moons around it, like a lot of moons, like Jupiter, or at least a fair amount of moons. It should have a few moons around it, and it's really just because we haven't detected them yet. Whether we'll be able to detect them is another story, but you can see the object here. We know it's got a ring. Rings are easy to detect. Smaller objects aren't. And then Betelgeuse. So Betelgeuse is way far away, but we're going to do Betelgeuse anyway. Betelgeuse is 400 and something light years away. And...
So you're doing 2 more planets?
We're doing one more star right here, and then I'll give you the floor. Or if you want to promote anything.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I think basically I always run. We're doing pretty good here timing wise. I gotta say. Now I should ask you: is there any planet or object in space that you'd like to see? I'm gonna do a zoom out of this galaxy right after that. But is there anything you'd like to see, Wade?
Give me a second to look up something.
All right, you got it.
You put me on the spot. I was like,
well, you can guess anything you want, just like, but yeah, whatever you want to do, if you want to look it up, that's cool, So Betelgeuse is a big mother effort, and I actually don't know what I'm looking at. Like, this is just me.
Betelgeuse. Sorry, you gave me the. It didn't make me say it, so.
But yeah, depending if I turn off high dynamic range or not, it'll make the object look like this or like this. So it's like a realistic representation, but this gives you like an idea of what it might look like through a solar filter and what it might look like if you were I don't know, just trying to like measure the texture of it or the shape of it. But another issue is that when you're in front of a star this big, and this is huge, this is humongous. This is hey Google, volume 5. Hey Google, how big is Betelgeuse compared to the sun? Good job, Google. Hey Google, volume 5. Hey Google, how big is Betelgeuse compared to the sun? Hey Google, how big is Betelgeuse compared to the sun? Yes, yes. 700 times the size of the sun. All right, so the answer, James's question was like a pretty interesting question here. Where did he say? Where do these images come from? If we're talking about this, so oh yeah, I think we covered that already. So basically, yeah, a lot of it comes from probes, but pretty much after Pluto, you know, Haumea, Makemake, Eris, and Sedna, we don't have anything too real. Like you already saw the picture of, Eris and Sedna. They basically look the same. Like those low resolution pictures we saw earlier, where it was like I lost them right now, so I can't show them. But those low res images like are pretty representative of like the best imagery we got of all of those dwarf planets. Like we know that one of them is shaped like an egg because the pixels are sort of a little bit lopsided. You get the idea. A long cable for artificial. Yeah, so that's a cool idea. It's an engineering feat. That's why I like the idea of that. If like we were going outside our solar system, we knew a planet had a magnetic field.
Hey, I got it.
Oh, cool. Okay, what you got?
I don't know. I might as well be talking gibberish, but FT3, does that make anything?
Let's see here. Let me try something here. I'll Google it in 2 seconds. But before we Google it, what I want to do is I want to see where's the galaxy. Okay, the galaxies. Yeah, we're gonna do something cool.
Sorry, I should preface. It's closer to Earth, FYI.
Oh, that's okay. We'll be able to. Hopefully, I'll be able to.
I guess. I don't know what to look up besides the center of the universe, and you can probably on the Milky Way. But
that's something because actually that's a good idea.
I used to be into the space.
Well, the center of the galaxy is a great idea. And I think we should touch on that. If we can't find this other target, we'll try that next. But real quick, so we got Earth over here. Wait a second. That's weird. Okay, so it's got Betelgeuse is selected here. But when I did Earth and I said select Earth, I'm very confused. I know that Earth and Betelgeuse can't be in the same neighborhood. Like that makes no sense. But okay, there's Earth. Oh wow, is it really that? Oh, I guess that is that close. Okay, so I went too far out. Okay, so I'm being greedy here. Okay, so let's try to figure this out. Okay, there's Betelgeuse. Then they can't be that close to each other. I feel like I'm going mad. Oh, maybe they are that close. And I'm just Oh, okay, so I guess they are that close. All right, so let's go back to Betelgeuse first, and then we're gonna punch up Earth or Solar. So yeah, okay, there we go. So that's where we are. So it's interesting. We look like we're practically in the same part of the galaxy here, but it's like that's 400 light years difference right there between that red dot in the bottom, which is Betelgeuse here. So now, okay, so just to confirm, wait, you said that was
FT3.
Okay, let me see if we can convert that to something that comes
It's a meteor if it helps you.
That does. Okay, so let's see here. FT3 Meteor. Astrophysicist David Kipping has submitted a project to the James Webb Space Telescope to detect exomoons. Boring. No, okay, that's a cool idea. I mean, why not? If he thinks he could do it. I mean, why not try? I worry about, wasting. Okay, so here's the full name. We got 2007 FT3. So we should be able to maybe try to get that. Or if we don't find it here, I have another way of finding it.
Sorry, I was like, I thought it. I didn't realize it was a made up name. Whoops. That was my bad. See, I couldn't
Well,
tell you.
no, I mean, it's kind of close enough anyway. Now, the problem is I see like we got 2007 FV42. I don't have any FTs, so I'm going to pick this other asteroid and hope it's the same one. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it is, but, we'll just YOLO it. In the meantime, I'll look at the names. Maybe it's got a different name here. Sometimes they give you like 3 different names, like Minor Planet, Lost, Neo, Apollo. Okay, that's not it. 2000 FT3. It's got a lowercase 3, I'm noticing. I mean, if that's even a term. Oh, okay. This is.
It's 28.4 kilometers. Kilometers.
Ooh.
Orbital.
This one's cool.
28.4 kilometers.
Oh, it looks like I have to download. There is actually a catalog of asteroids that I can download that I don't have enabled right now. It's like a plugin. I think I might even have it.
That's fine. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's
Anyways,
it's a good question. It's an interesting idea because I mean, like, we can actually give you like an idea of like what we do have, and like, so it's a limited selection of asteroids. But watch what happens when I boom. You see what? Oh wait, wrong screen. Let me do that again. Okay, so 2 things I was just doing right now. One, wow. Okay, how did I do this? Okay, so one, we were looking at 2007 FV blah blah blah, and this one was kind of cool. This one here was Wait, I gotta click on it. But that's interesting, David Glenn. Thanks for sharing that about Mr. Clipping. I'll have to check out his work. All right, so we're gonna just get, because this one was cool. This one I just wanted you to, because he's like your search idea kind of inspired me to. Oh God, I'll go too fast again. I'm gonna get vertigo. And a lot of these objects will look like stars, like on a telescope, and then as you get closer to them, they'll get like more evenly lit. So this one was interesting because it's got like a little brother next to it or something. So that's what I wanted to show there. And that's a very weird orbit. And it looks like a rock. Well, of course it looks like a rock. But the weird thing was, so just now what we did was, what I did a moment ago, I'm going to do it once again. I'm going to turn on asteroids, and you get all these white lines. And first I need to fly out a lot, because otherwise it's too close. So we're going to turn on asteroids. Just too many, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this is just showing the orbits of the asteroids, but like, that's pretty wild right there. And then I think we're seeing some Kuiper belt objects, which is basically like between the orbit of Neptune and Pluto, or outside of the orbit of Pluto. You get this thing. It's like the asteroid belt, but it's got like, it covers a much bigger area. And then we're going to turn off the asteroids, because obviously you can see how messy that gets. Then we're going to turn on comets. And comets are interesting because they usually have these weird orbits, like almost like a really, really tall oval. So one side of the orbit is elliptical. I mean, elliptical meaning that it's an oval, and some orbits, they'll fly really close to the sun, and then they'll spend half their lives like flying really far away. Like this one here, you can see it's got like this weird curve that goes way out here, then it swings back in. And some of these are on such steep angles that they never come back. Some of them show up every 10,000 years. Some of them show up every whatever thousand years. But those are comets. And then other than that, we did our local stellar neighborhood. You know, I mean, there's always more to show. But I think we covered a lot of ground. Now, what you inspired, though, Wade, when I asked you earlier, you said, oh, well, maybe the center of the galaxy. That's actually a great idea. So we're going to go into the center of the galaxy. We're going to actually YOLO this. I'm going to do it, like, manually. And then we can fly in, because 2 things I want to point out is this doesn't even have all of the stars. Like, remember, once again, I turned off the fake stars. I'm going to turn off all of the fake stars. So I must have accidentally turned on fake stars without noticing. We're turning off all of the procedurally generated stuff, because I want, realism. So now every star you see here is a real star, but essentially anything near Earth we have more of. So we're gonna turn off the labels for a moment because obviously we don't need like labels if we can't read them anyway. Okay, so that's like literally like the stuff that's near Earth. And so what I do is the further you fly away, they get really dim. So I'm gonna brighten them up, and essentially we mostly see stuff that's near us. We can see a lot of things that are not near us, but we see way more things near us, and that's essentially because part of it is that the stuff that's near us is gonna block our view of stuff that is further away. And so in any case, you can see the pattern. You can see how we have one side of the galaxy very thoroughly mapped, and then other areas that are not so thoroughly mapped. But now that we got that sorted out, we're going to go to the middle of the Milky Way, and I'm going to close this window so we're not blocking our view. And we're going to look for a particular star called Sagittarius A. And because I can't find it, we're going to just type it in. And there it is right there. So now I should be able to fly in at some super duper speed. Now, what makes Sagittarius A special? Well, it's supposedly a black hole. I mean, I do believe in black holes, but I can understand, I empathize with people who don't, because one of the problems with, I think, space stuff is that, like, they'll kind of like have the math. They'll say, okay, this thing exists, but then a few years later, they'll rename it and they'll say that, oh, it's not actually this, it's actually that. So some people think that black holes are sort of just like stars that are like so dense that the light can't escape, but they're not actually black holes. I don't think that necessarily black holes, but I think that when a star is super dense, it does bend space-time or something. I mean, I really don't know. What I do know is that I lost it. Let's hit the go-to button. What I do know is I have this cool video that relates to Sagittarius A. Where's everyone else? Everyone's gone. That's what James asked where everyone was. So real quick, we're going to do one last official duty on my end. Let's see, Sagittarius A black hole, right? And then we're going to pull up a video and we're going to do two things. So, okay, I'm going to mute the sound. We don't need the sound. So right here, it's going to show these guys zooming into the galaxy, probably using similar software. And when they get to the middle, what we're going to see is a video that was taken. This video right here are real pictures taken over the course of like 20 years. And there's a version of this video where it actually shows you the year that each picture was taken. I don't think this is that version. And every time I want to show it to somebody, it takes me 10 years to find it. But then if I'm jerking around at work, it takes me 2 seconds to find it. But anyway, so what you're seeing is like stars orbiting something that we can't see. And when they go on one side of orbit, they look like they're kind of slingshotting really fast. And so essentially this kind of like, in my opinion at least, serves as pretty decent evidence, or at least some form of evidence that it serves as evidence that these stars are orbiting something massive. And since that massive thing cannot be seen, we're inferring that it's a black hole. So they take the real imagery and they kind of trace it with these lines here. So it's now seeing like a mixture of like real imagery and fake imagery, or conceptualized, whatever the term is. But they're showing you labels. They're showing you that they named everything here. They're showing you that this blue circle here is the size of Neptune's orbit in our solar system. So basically like everything right before Pluto. So yeah, now I wish I could find a version of this where it's like taken over the course of like, like there's like I said, there's another version. I think I'll look for it. I'll save it for another time. But now let's get back to this trick I want to show you. Yeah, I have a magic trick here. I got a trick to show you. Hey, what up, Lady Mist? Lady Mist is here? Oh, I don't know. Maybe Lady Mist was like, maybe Lady Mist is going to talk about politics. No, I'm kidding. She's sweet. She's probably just sleeping. But jokes aside, yo, I thought about talking about the hot button topic from the weekend, and I was like, you know what? I'm not touching that with a 5-foot pole.
Oh, I never touched that.
Like, I sometimes do. Like,
I could make a channel, but I'm like, why am I going to make a 4th or a 5th or a 100th?
Oh, yeah, that too. Well, if I was going to talk about the thing that happened to the former president 2 days ago,
yes, I know. We all know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, no worries. But so right here, I think I'm going too fast here, so I'm going to slow. So that's supposedly, the Sagittarius A, the center of the galaxy's black hole, would be located. And one of the things we can do in Space Engine right now, is July 16th, and I'm going to fast forward time. And now we have 1 day going by every second. So with 1 day going by every second, what we're seeing here is like these things orbiting that black hole. Different stars orbiting the black hole at pretty significant speeds. And so essentially the video I just showed you on YouTube a moment ago is basically what this imagery is based upon. So with that being said, that's the center of our galaxy, at least as we know it now, until we have more new information. Because look, everything's subject to change when it's covered in dust. Thank you. And wait, do you want to add anything, man? You want to promote anything? You want to tell us about anything? You want to anything at all?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Maybe not.
I'm just on my game today. Of course, I said I was going to stream today, and what do? I stream.
Maybe not anything, because if it's anything, that could include anything. So I do have to put a disclaimer. But jokes aside, go on.
Give me 1 second. I'm like tired myself. I can't imagine you. You're an hour ahead of me, so I'm like, I can't believe I'm just all over the place.
They are orbiting.
Let me believe that way I make.
They're orbiting Lizzo.
I don't. Hold on.
I got you.
There.
All right, let me know when you want to pop that in.
Just tell me when.
You're all set. I'm gonna hit the button. Yeah. What you want me? I'll hit the button.
Just tell me when you show it.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you in. I'm gonna do it in 3, 2, 1. Mark.
Oh yeah. On. This technically, I just did that. Technically, these are the last 2 streams, but I was like, oh, I'm got done with work anyways. Anyway, let me go back to an order of streams. Oh, there's my other channel. But sorry, I'm tired, as you can tell. Plus, it's hot. Anyways, tomorrow, 20 hours. 20 hours from now, we will be talking the highlight. Retro Kids Cartoon. And DJ, if you want to just type in chat and I'll send it a link.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually looking up right now so I can post a link. Where is that? Which channel is that? Is that Real Weight Gaming?
You want the channel? Here.
I'll get you the link. Yeah, as long as I can read the name, I can just get. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, I got it. Let me just read that. Real Weight Nation Gaming Live. Okay,
this is the other channel. If I'm not on clips, they'll look for, because sometimes I don't feel like playing games and doing panelists.
No problem. So we got right here. We got Retro Kids Cartoon 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I'm going to click the notify button on my right monitor. So yeah, just make sure people can see that.
Aren't you going to be on NIP?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tune in either way. I can watch it. I may not join it, but I can watch it.
No, I know. The problem is I added 20 people to a group.
Mm-hmm.
And I only have a couple of spots because I'm the cheapskate. And I refuse to pay for,
Well, yeah. Look. I mean, it's like the launch.
So I'll cycle through. I can get you in. I'm just saying.
I'll play by ear.
You know how it is.
I get home on Tuesday. I'm usually tired anyway because I don't get sleep on Monday because I do this. like literally, I do.
No, you're good. You're good.
I don't get sleep from this, but sometimes people shuffle out. Sometimes people drop in, drop out. So I play by ear, but I'll be fine. I certainly be happy to tune in.
But before I get to the other one. So there will be 2 parts. This will be the first part, and then the part 2 you saw. Let me get back to it. I should have.
I'm gonna do the Ryan Roger after you real quick. He does that when you say hi. You ever watch Ryan Roger after? If you say hi to him in the chat, he'll point down. He'll point down at screen and be like.
And then here's part 2. I'm only technically I was only gonna do one part, and then I'm like, if I feel like go.
Oh yeah, I got part 2
I
right
think
over here.
so. It starts at 8 for the 22nd.
Okay.
So I'll go. I forget what time.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a link.
I might move it back to 11, but I'm just gonna leave it. I might delay the start time because of part 1, but I will get to part 2. I was like, I wanted to get some more views on. That's weird. I
I'm
didn't
gonna
know that
drop the
was
link.
happening, but okay. Well, that's a nice surprise. Sorry,
No,
I didn't mean to.
yeah, no, you Gucci. So what I did was I dropped a link to the live tab on the Real Gateway, page. So basically, when they click on a link, they're gonna have these
yeah.
2 buttons. They're gonna have tomorrow's. I put a link to this one directly in the chat, but I also put a link to this entire page, in particular the live tab. So
But
people
yeah, I was gonna say tomorrow will be this one. If you do part 1 link, I have it where I can redirect to part 2. So don't. I already have it set up already. So as soon as I end, I just gotta cycle.
I got you. I'm just gonna copy it.
You know what? I gotta make 2 rooms. Is what I just thought of this.
Oh my god! It sounds so sketchy. No, not really sketchy. Just
because I just realized if I end the one.
I see.
Because there's not a way to do it on the YouTube in a stream, right?
Like when you say, like, what do you mean, like, is it?
No, I'm not.
Like
what I'm saying is, if I go into views, like if I go on the studio, is there a way to end the stream?
Oh, I see. You mean like after the show's over?
Yeah.
Usually, I think you could literally. I mean, look, I literally. Give me a second.
I just didn't think about. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'll just. You know what? I figured it out.
Well, that's okay. I just picked the.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I did make another. I forgot about that.
Well, like just my example here, like if you look up here, like I click end stream up on the top right corner. Wait, am I on the right screen? Oh yeah, okay, there we go. I click end stream over here, but usually I end it from Restream, because if I end it from Restream or StreamYard, it automatically ends it on the YouTube end anyway.
No, I just remembered I didn't make a part 2 room. Never mind.
Got you. Well, either way, that's why I put a link to the live page. It gives you.
I'm tired.
No worries, you got flexibility. That's why I dropped a link to the live tab, so you can make changes, and people who have that link will see, that page. But people got options. Subscribe to.
I would drop. So the one that I would drop is Retro tomorrow, Retro Cartoon Talk, and then do part 1, and then part 2 for the. There's technically 3. It's just on 2 channels because I was trying to get to 100 on the 81. The one it was at 77. Now it's at 81. I don't know how it blew up, but I'll take what I can get. But anyway, that's what I was trying to do to get more eyeballs. It'll basically be the same as part 1, but it'll be a second part, so that way I can get some eyeballs on the channel. But anyways.
No doubt. I mean, we're all set basically. So real quick, I do want to say hi to my boy Slim. He plays party games sometimes on every other week or every week. He suggested looking up duck constellations, which I would call duckstellations. Constellation Quack 2024 /001. I would Google that if I knew you weren't pulling my leg right now. But you should probably try to get an asteroid named after you. Just don't go to those companies that say you can name a star after your wife or your girlfriend, because if you do, you'll never see that star.
Well, unless you marry them.
Well, like people, like, even, well, that's true too. But it's funny. So they got these things where you can have them name a star after you or something, or you can name a star anything you want. You pay for it. But the problem is that it became a real hassle to the astronomers, where they started complaining about these people would call up observatories and be like, "Hey, yeah, someone bought a star and named it after me. I was wondering if you could help me find it." an observatory would point their telescope and say, "Hey, look, we got a freaking 10-foot telescope and we can't even see it." Because what was happening is these companies were picking stars out of the what they call the Hubble Deep Field Catalog, which is basically where the Hubble Space Telescope, which is in space by the way, had to point at a black part of the sky for like 7 days straight, and then that was how it was able to see the galaxies and stars in that corner of space. And people getting stars named after themselves over there, but it's like you have no hope. Those people have no hope of ever spotting those stars with their eyes or even a real telescope. But I digress. Real quick, I do want to thank Amber M for dropping by. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I got to run in a second too, Amber M. Like literally, like
I know.
like
as soon as we're done here, I was gonna just play games. I think I'm gonna fall asleep.
cool. Well, do you have any last words before I do my outro?
No. DJ, I need to have you on again. And
I'd be honored.
You need to make a turtle channel. But
we'll work. Well, I mean, maybe I will make a dedicated channel because one thing that once I get the camera set up better, I might just make it into a 24/7 stream. Like, you know what I mean? Like just like that. You know how many watch hours? Like,
you mean like the music channels?
Yeah, and then like maybe like the turtles can like earn me some revenue, and then they could pay for themselves. You know, they need jobs, man. They're becoming teenagers right now. Okay, they're gonna be grown up soon. Those turtles need to earn their keep. Okay, you know, all this turtle does is beg me for food, take my food, and then she either swims or sits under the light all day doing nothing. So it's like, she gotta earn her keep, man. Let me tell you. But jokes aside, it's not a big deal.
I mean, there's two other things, but I can save them for me. So
basically, long story short, I would say that it would be nice if I could have a live camera that can offset the cost of having turtles, but I do a pretty good job of keeping my costs down. But did you say you had like one or two more things? I mean, if it doesn't take long to promote them, I don't mind. But yeah, I definitely want to get my buttocks to bed too.
Yeah, but hamsters.
Oh,
look at Slim's comment.
I might. Hand pink waving. Oh yeah, it's the YouTube emoji. I might.
Yeah, but hamsters are evil. If you're gonna go hamster, you might as well just go guinea pig while you're at it. Don't even go to hamster.
Yeah, you know, like what he's talking about. He plays a game, a couple of these games that involve ducks. I forgot the name of the Placid Duck.
It's a game.
It's like a simulator where you have like ducks in a pool, and you basically like keep naming the ducks, and they keep appearing, and you gotta basically like sort of herd them into a water slide, and then like they kind of just gradually. It's like a game involving. It's very therapeutic, but it's like you're basically gradually moving a group of rubber duckies into like a different pool, and then they sometimes get stuck in a tree. A lot of weird things happen. It's a pretty cool game. Turtle obstacle course would be pretty cool.
Only thing I'm gonna say is there won't be any political talk.
Oh yeah,
streams.
I understand.
That's my only law. I mean, not.
Honestly, that's a safe bet.
My only line. I meant to say line, and I'm tired.
No worries, but that's a safe bet because we did have some politics come up a few weeks ago, and everyone was quite civil. We actually had people disagreeing but being polite to each other. It's really, really interesting. Like,
I mean, I can talk about it offline, of course, but
yeah, of course, yeah. But I mean, we did this. Like, I did it because I did a show right after the debate, and so it's like, we'll talk about like the superficial stuff. I'm not trying to sell a candidate, but people are bound to disagree here and there. But we all had fun, and everyone was respectful, and that's all I could ask for because because people get really bent out of shape sometimes about that stuff. Like they really get bent out of shape. It might be more interesting if they ate crickets or something. Yeah, but then I'd have to fucking buy crickets, and I'd have to worry about them jumping out of the bag and getting like that. Just doesn't do it for me. But I do have a bag. I recently bought a bag this big of like freeze-dried crickets, worms, river shrimp, night crawlers. So maybe I'll feed them on camera. I don't know, figure something out. I'll think it through. But yeah, the turtles are fantastic, aren't they? Thank you, Sassy. And Placid, that's what it's called. Placid Duck Simulator, I believe. Or yeah, Placid Duck or Placid Duck Simulator. But I do have it on Nintendo Switch. He has it on PlayStation 4. Placid Duck Simulator. So I think
Are you fine with me signing off? I'm like,
oh yeah. No
watching a
doubt, buddy. I'm not
movie
trying
with
to. I'm
your
not trying to hold you
Stam.
hostage. I'm literally gonna
Like,
play that.
if I would have took a nap, but I'm like, plan was go home, eat dinner, take a nap, then stream, and then I'm like, got to the before the nap, I'm like, yeah, let's just stream for an hour, and then it turned into I don't know how long I went, like probably half an hour, sassy. But anyways,
No,
so if
I'm literally.
anybody's sending me messages on Twitter, I will see them in the morning. I promise I will respond. Normally, I'm a night owl, but I worked earlier, and the warm weather is not my friend per se. As far as I don't know what you call it. Anyways, well, I'm just gonna end up rambling before I
No.
know it and fall asleep on DJ's stream. That would not be well. So
Well, hell,
with that, I am out.
you want to see the outro before you go?
Yeah,
I'll
go
play.
for it.
All right, we're gonna play the outro anyway.
I'm just gonna mute.
Okay,
If you
perfect.
your stuff, go for it. I'm
Gotcha.
just saying.
I'm gonna play that. I'm
You know
literally gonna
whatever.
say my piece and then do the outro. I'm not even gonna linger on it. So anyway, for anybody, first of all, everyone who tuned in tonight, I want to thank Sassy for tuning in. Relatively new faces here. We got, of course, my homeboy Slim, my main man Slim. I just think it sounds cool saying that. Anyway, moving along, we got James. Thanks, James, for dropping by. David Glenn, who is probably in bed right now, and I respect that. And if he drank coffee before the stream, that's amazing. He drank coffee and then went to bed. Of course, I do want to thank our special guest, Wade, for dropping in. In addition to that, we had Jolly
You're awesome.
dropping by. Thank you. We had, my boy Chaos for You 728. He does quality gaming content. Usually, I tune into him on my days off from work because, he plays mad late, and those are the days I'm up mad late. We had our boy Salty Traveling C, a real gentleman. If you want to watch the video about the Charlie Brown Christmas, he has a good video about that. We got Pacific 414. I think he's going to be playing some really cool video games this week. I have a couple of his streams set to notify. We got Tits and Ray Guns. I don't know if I explicitly, shouted out Tits and Ray Guns, but I love the combination. I love tits. I love Ray Guns. Ray Guns are cool. I love sci-fi. And last but not least, we got Zombie Bites Everything. And this Zombie Bites Everything, he's been playing a lot of GTA 5 online. And so with that being said, tomorrow night, we got Timbo Tube. Tomorrow night, I may appear with Snacks and Friends if Snacks and Friends does his nip and nag routine with him and Punk Waddle. If not, I'm going
You're welcome on mine. If you
Yep.
just type in chat and I will see it, and I will send you the link.
You got it. I appreciate that. Yeah, as long as I'm up, I'll touch base and.
No, but I don't expect if you're too tired. No, I don't blame you.
I appreciate that, man. You rock. So basically, last one I want to shout out is Pop Culture Mechanic. He's on at 9 p.m. New York time. I guess that's 8 p.m. your time. So yeah, if anyone wants to watch Trades Talk with Pop Culture Mechanic, that's 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. And yeah, not trying to touch that third rail. I'm kidding. We're gonna make jokes about that next week. Not jokes. I just want to see. Okay, real quick about that. It's sort of like the submarine we talked about last week. That submarine that imploded last year. I didn't care for it when it was in the news cycle because usually the news, they give you a slow drip release about the details of these things. And I don't tell you all the stuff. They just kind of take their sweet time. You watch the news for 3 hours and learn nothing new. So instead, I ignore the news cycle when it's fresh. I wait a week or two or a month, and then I tune into it. And suddenly there's way more accurate information than there was on day one. So maybe next week, I'll have more accurate information because right now it's like a bunch of back and forth. I mean, the stuff you see on Facebook, or not Facebook, Twitter. It's just we'll touch on that next week perhaps. Not the way. Yeah, that's true too. That's a valid point. Not the way. So last point is agreed. It is not the way to stop what you can vote for. Yeah, we got to do things peaceful. That's the whole point of this shit. So anyway, with that being said, for anybody watching on the replay, if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. And for now, we shall end transmission as soon as our outro completes. Here goes.